Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with InsideTheU. Thanks for stopping by. This is my second day here on campus and just getting ready for college game day, watching the set being built. I was here the first day, had video on that on the channel, and then update today as it looks near to be complete, and it looks great. And one thing I'll say about what I've noticed on campus and watching the students, there's just certainly a lot of buzz and excitement about this game, about game day being here for the first time since 2017. Watching students walk by, see the sets, take pictures and videos, and just kind of hearing them talk, overhearing them, just they're excited. And there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this event, but also the team this year. And that was kind of my big takeaways from doing interviews today with College Game Days, Reese Davis and Desmond Howard, and then also ACC Network. They're here on campus as well. So Eric McLean talked about the Hurricanes as well. And there's just a lot of respect for this program, certainly with what Desmond had to say, and Eric thinks Miami has the best team in college football as of right now. And look, there's high hopes for this team. The overall takeaway with what these three guys had to say about this team is they really like that it's just this all-around team. You know, they can throw the ball with Carson Beck, really in control. They can run it. They like the strides they've made defensively compared to a year ago. And look, and they seem to talk about the focus of this team, which is what we hear too from interviews from coaches and players. And we'll see. And certainly in a rivalry game, we'll see how it all plays out. I thought Desmond said it great, and you can listen to him right here talking about a rivalry game.
This is a rivalry game, and this is the type of game that makes rivalries special, right? One team is like undefeated right now, they're riding high, and everyone's like cheering for them and pulling for them, and then one team's in the dumps, people saying maybe the coach is on the hot seat, they have no business coming in here winning the game, and then upsets happen. That's why rivalries are special. That's why the Gators, they hate the Canes, and the Canes, they hate the Gators, and the Noles, they hate both of them, and both of them hate the Noles.
And for me in this game, I think there's three keys for Miami as I think about it, my final thoughts before the day before the game. And I think the first one will start offensively with Carson Beck. He's been operating very well and is distributing the ball, and I know he had a couple picks, but he's going to be able to bounce back because he has shown he's made enough productive plays. But I think the key for Carson, and the offensive line has done a great job, and I'm not expecting this to happen, but just to continue to provide a nice pocket for Carson to deliver. Now, Florida's probably going to try to apply pressure, either with its front four or with some blitzing, but as long as Carson has time and is not pressured, I think he'll be fine to continue to distribute the ball to the different wide receivers or maybe get the tight ends involved a little bit more. But I think that's a big key to kind of keep this offense going, is just to make sure Carson is being protected as he's been shown through these first three games. So I think that's a big key for the offense to start it out. Certainly another big key for the Miami offense in this game is making sure that they keep the running game going. I think Miami could really come into some issues if they're not balanced. So, like most teams. So keeping Mark Fletcher, continuing that productive stretch that he's been on, the productive plays, as I mentioned in a previous video, just one negative run all year long of his 42 carries. So keeping positive yardage, getting first downs, those 10-yard runs are something to watch for with Fletcher, and certainly when they get in the red zone, continue to make plays there. But providing holes for Fletcher, and we'll see, maybe getting Jordan Lyle involved. Coach said he'll be available. We'll see if he plays, and we'll see how many carries he does get, but certainly a change of pace there. And then Marty Brown as well, just kind of getting him involved as they've been doing. And I think, if one of these backs is struggling a little bit or doesn't have it going, they're going to go to another guy. But I think it all starts with Mark Fletcher. Look for him to kind of, again, stay in that 15-carry target. And I think as long as he's productive as he's been, that 6-7 yards a carry. And then my third and final key for the Hurricanes against the Gators is defensively. And look, I know DJ Lagway's coming off this 5-interception game, but to me, the key in this game for Miami's defense is slowing down the run game with Jaden Ball and really not letting the Gators get going with their run game. And, making sure he's not breaking big, long runs. And I think if Florida is able to establish its running game, I think it's going to help Lagway in the passing game. So if Miami can really just kind of keep that running game under control, I think it's going to be very difficult for Florida to move the ball. And I think they're going to certainly want to rely on that running game because of the factors, because some of the issues that they've had in the passing game. So that's something to watch for. Certainly with Jaden, you got to make sure you're getting to the perimeter. The linebackers in particular, Wesley Bassine, it comes to mind, but making sure you're cutting them off at the sideline and not letting them get up field, running the sideline for big, long gains. But certainly defensive line, making sure Ruben Bain has another productive game, as he's had each and every game so far this year. Akeem Mesidor filling in as well in defensive ends. Again, you're making sure you're guarding the run and not just overloading and trying to get sacks and big plays on the quarterback. So those are my 3 keys, but certainly Miami has been the better team this season, and I think if Miami just continues to play the way that it has been, they'll be fine and move to 4-0 heading into the bye week with that big game coming up against Florida State. But just my final thoughts here. As I mentioned, just great environment here on campus. The set, if you were here in 2017, the set looks a lot different than it did back then, and it's just a lot going on. It looks really cool. I'll have another video with updates of what it looks like, but definitely looking forward to the game, another night game, another opportunity for Miami on a big stage to show what kind of team it has. So definitely want to thank everybody for watching. Stay tuned to the channel. Thanks for your support. Have a good rest of the weekend, but definitely enjoy the game. Take care.